box has been on this shelf for over 30 years.
Wow.
Complete family computer system. There are a few good videos about the Mattel Aquarius home computer system on the internet, but unfortunately this is probably not one of them. I do want to show you the system that I used in the 1980s. This was purchased at a closeout store in Northeast Philadelphia named Odd Lots for $29. At the time, if you wanted a home computer, most people would get a Commodore 64. The Commodore 64 sold for between $300 and $500 depending on what year you purchased it. Now, I couldn't afford $300, but I could afford $29. To put it in perspective, $29 in 2023 is worth about $79. This has been stored in my garage for over 30 years, and it's been through probably 100 or 200 freeze-thaw cycles. So I don't know if any of it's going to work, but we'll set it up, and I've got three plans. Plan A is we set it up and it all works. Plan B is something doesn't work and we fix it, which is unlikely. And Plan C is that we swap out the entire computer console with a working unit. So first we've got the manual. The computer system is basically useless without the manual. At least back then it was, because no one knew anything about computers. Okay, here I've got some cassette tapes with the programs I stored back in the 1980s, and I would hopefully be able to read the tapes and run the programs. Here we've got Tron Deadly Discs, which I never used. Here's the 16K memory expansion module. Here's something worth its weight in gold. It's the printer paper that was actually supplied in the box and made or sold by Mattel. It prints in blue. Here's some more paper. At work we had thermal fax machines, and they would give a paper out alarm, but there would still be about 2 feet of paper on the roll. So I would take the 2 feet and slice it down and put it in the printer. That's why I never had to open that one. Here's the data recorder, which we'll utilize with the tapes. Here's a program called File Form. Here's another program called Fin Form. I think that's for financial form. It's a spreadsheet. I never used these cartridges. I never played Deadly Discs. Here's one, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. The reason I never did was because you connect the Aquarius to a television for the monitor. I had this old RCA XL100 color TV. The picture was so bad that you wouldn't want to use a spreadsheet on it because everything was all fuzzy. Now the Aquarius connects to the TV on channel 3 or channel 4. We had channel 3 in Philadelphia, and even with no antenna, it would cause interference on the screen. So you set the Aquarius to channel 4, tune the TV to channel 4, and I swear channel 3 was still interfering with it. Plus, it was an old TV. Here we go. Here is the Mattel Aquarius console. Here's the mini expander. And the thermal printer. This thing that popped out is simplified instruction cards. This is one of those things you just have to look at once, like how to connect it to your TV. So we'll set all this up and see if it still works. Now, I no longer have the old RCA XL100 TV, thankfully. But I do have this. Don't know where I got it. It's also been in the garage. So it's also been frozen and baked. So if any of this works, it'll be a pleasant surprise. So we'll unbox everything and set it up and see what happens. There's the power supply. And here's the console. Wow, this console used to be kind of beige color. Now it's tan. On the back we have the cassette deck, the printer port, and out to the TV. That looks like it's just an RCA jack, so I don't see any TV cable in the box. We'll start with a minimalist configuration. I'm just going to hook up the console and the tape drive. Now, there's something I want to look at on the tape drive before we plug it in. So here's the data recorder, which requires your Aquarius home computer system. Imagine that. Easy to use, simple hookup. Develop and save a whole library of information on cassette tapes. I guess that was state of the art at the time. Well, this is interesting. This has also discolored. I remember it being a lot brighter looking. What's interesting is that it's been in total darkness. But it hasn't been in a vacuum, so I guess oxygen gets to it. Now, before we plug this in, there is an excellent 3-part series on the Aquarius made by a guy named Neil, and his channel is RMC-The Cave. And in the video, he shows that the belt going to this counter has disintegrated. Now, we need the counter because if we want to load a program, say coils, I have to advance the tape till the counter reads 150. Which obviously we can't do if the belt has dissolved. So the first thing we'll do is take this apart and look at it. Well, there's hardly anything left of the belt. I only see one little piece here. I don't know where the rest of it went. Oh, okay. This is what was left of the old belt. Most of it actually got on my hands. Here's the bottom of the tape drive. It says Mattel Incorporated 1982, Hong Kong. It also says do not remove the cover or the back. There are no user serviceable parts inside. Next we'll test the TV since we don't know if it works. I just noticed this TV has a DVD player built right into it. Okay, we've got a red light. Wow, I bet that DVD player works. Channel 3, 2, DVD player. Game. line. Okay, I think we're going to use this jack here to go from the Aquarius to the TV. All right, the Mattel Aquarius is plugged in. I can hear that transformer down there humming. Now I'm going to go use an RCA cable to go out from the Aquarius and into the video port of the TV. And I don't know if that's the right way to do it, especially since it should be sending a picture on channel 3 or 4, which means we should go into the RF connector in the back of the TV. But for some reason I don't have the cable that came with this. Let's give it a try. Alright, there's channel 4. Apparently we're not going to pick up channel 4 if we're using the line in on the front of the TV. What I was trying to do with that video cable is not going to work. There is no video line out in the Mattel Aquarius that can go into that jack in the television. So I've got some alligator clips going from the RCA plug to an F connector. Now this isn't going to work properly because using these alligator clips I've lost all the shielding. But we should get some kind of a picture that will at least tell us if the Mattel Aquarius is working or not. Okay, the TV's on channel 3 and the Aquarius is also on channel 3 since there's no longer any channel 3 transmitting on that frequency. And here comes the moment of truth. Well, that's working better than I thought. Press return key to start. We'll type in a quick program. I'm not typing that. Okay, obviously we have a problem. I don't know if it's the keyboard or one of the chips inside the machine. That's possible. I spilled beer in the keyboard. Lord knows I drank a lot of beer. I don't remember spilling anything on it. So we'll pick this up in part 2. I'll get the correct cable or this switch. The book says we need this switch, and I know I have one of these somewhere. Okay, see you in part 2. This is not in part 2. I picked up the Aquarius and gave it like a little twist, and it seemed to fix the keyboard trouble. So let's try a little program here, line 10. Let's list the program. There's our program, print hello Aquarius, and then go back to line 10. And we'll run that. And we have a computer that's computing. All right, we'll pick this up in part 2 with the correct cable and a much nicer picture.